The American Airlines Center in Dallas, the home of one of the top teams in the NBA so far this season, the 20-5 Dallas Mavericks, who have won 13 of their last 14 games. They'll take on a Western Conference rival tonight as Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavs close out a 6-game homestand against the visiting Phoenix Suns. Hi, everybody. Dan Schulman and Hubie Brown. Happy holidays and glad you're with us tonight here in Dallas. Let's talk about some of the older fellas in the NBA right now because they're having some terrific years. Dirk Nowitzki, 32 years old, 13th year in the NBA. He's in the MVP discussion.
Oh, after 25 games, a very strong contender. Wednesday night here versus Portland. 91-91, 2:35 to go. The last 4 possessions. Dirk on a baseline drive. Here, watch the fake and the fadeaway. His patented move. Then on the baseline, facing, clock going down, ball fake, in your face. Then facing the basket as we're closing out this game to win by 5. A beautiful move with the defender right up on top of him. Now, for the year, 25 points. All right, 8 rebounds. Shooting 56%, 40 in threes, and getting to the line at 88%. Not bad.
Not bad for a 32-year-old guy, but he's a pup compared to the point guard on the other side, Steve Nash. He's 36, still getting it done, coming off a 19-assist game Wednesday against the T-Wolves.
Yeah, he's been slowed down this year, Dan, and that's with a groin injury. He missed 2 games. It's affecting his three-point shooting, only through to 33%. But you can see 18 a game, 51 from the field. He's second in the league in assists, having a great year. As we move through this year and he figures out how to get the other 3 top guys involved, you'll see the stats go skyrocketing.
Let's take a look now at our LG starting lineups, beginning with the visiting Suns, who come in here an even 12-12. Alongside Nash in the backcourt, it'll be Jason Richardson, Grant Hill on the wing, Channing Frye, and the just returned from injury Robin Lopez in the middle for the Suns. For Dallas, Jason Kidd and Deshaun Stevenson in the backcourt, Caron Butler, Dirk Nowitzki, and Tyson Chandler up front. For more on tonight's matchup, let's say hello to Heather Cox.
Hi, Dan. Robin Lopez returned to the lineup Wednesday after missing 14 games with strained ligaments in his knee. And as much as the Suns are concerned about size and rebounding, the 7-footer's return couldn't have come at a better time. Now, down the one silver lining during the absence, Lopez said he was also able to rehab his ailing back and work on his leg strength, and he actually feels like he's playing with more explosiveness than ever before. We'll see.
And for a team, Hubie, that's one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA, getting Robin Lopez back is big.
It's a major addition. He's a shot blocker, a rebounder, clogs up the middle of the floor. Intelligent player.
Nowitzki inside, triple teamed. And it rolls off the rim to Channing Frye.
When you play against Dallas, you must get the easy basket, like right here. You've got to challenge them in the open floor. Transition defense is a major minus with Dallas. They've improved their overall defensive game, and they have a plus 5.7 differential, which is the 5th best in the league.
Major plus for Phoenix, obviously, offensively. They're the highest scoring team in the league, but they give up more points than anybody in the NBA. This is the first of 4 meetings this season between the Suns and the Mavericks.
Well, in watching Phoenix, remember now, they're going to get the ball up the court in a hurry. They'll run a ton of pick and rolls, but then watch the curling action below the foul line area. That's where they free up a lot of their people.
Richardson, kind of a barometer for the Suns. When he shoots well, they generally win. When he struggles, they have a tough time. Nowitzki from the elbow.
You've got to get up and jam him. Anytime he picks up his dribble, get up and jam him, because if you lay off him, range is not a problem.
Nash around and out of the rebound to Nowitzki. The 2 old friends, Nowitzki and Nash, embracing and catching up at center court before the game began. Deshaun Stevenson shooting the ball so much better this year than he did last year.
Well, he's shooting 50% in threes, and he takes 3 a game. I see that should have been a catch. That should have been a catch and a dunk.
Kidd, Nowitzki, and a hard foul by Robin Lopez will send Tyson Chandler to the line.
Now, we're going to have a beep-beep type of a game here tonight, no doubt about it. It's going to be an advanced summer league game. Everyone up and down quick. Transition defense will be at a premium. And then remember, both teams will shoot the 3 in the open field game.
So the line Chandler picked up in the offseason has really given them a defensive presence in the middle, especially in the back of the zone. Rick Carlisle will play a fair bit, depending on the team he's facing, a fair bit of 2-3 zone. Might not see it as much tonight the way that Phoenix shoots the threes. Rick Carlisle actually said he thinks Phoenix might be one of the best three-point shooting teams ever this year. So he is very wary of the three-point shot. And for Alvin Gentry, well, the Suns, they're still trying to learn their roles, get the rotation down. You take an Amari Stoudemire off the team, and there are still some unanswered questions right now for the Suns.
Well, anytime you're a leading scoring team in the league, but then you have a minus differential, you know that you're doing nothing at the other end. Right. All right, so the defensive percentages are down, and also points in the paint are right at the bottom of the league.
Nash, the 18-footer, to get the Suns on the board. A couple of minutes in, 5-2 Dallas early.
Now, Dallas does a lot of baseline movement. You have to guard Chandler right there. He can make that jump shot facing.
Contested by Lopez. Nash looking to push. The screen by Fry. Nash on the drive. Still plenty of time. Richardson scoops it up and in.
Well, this is what you like to see more of. Don't settle for the three tonight unless you're wide open. Anytime that you're being contested, drive the ball hard and force Dallas to rotate and trap you.
Caron Butler, baseline drive. And it's going to be a block. The two officials looking at each other, Scott Foster and John Goebel, wanted to make sure they agreed on the call.
Well, right there, you can see right here now, this is a difficult call, mainly because the baseline referee got blocked out of the call. He was looking for help from the other two guys who had a better angle, and they called it correctly.
A foul on Grant Hill, his first. Right now, Grant Hill is defending Dirk Nowitzki. This is the way that Alvin Gentry is going to start. The 6'8" Hill, a small forward, on the 7-footer Dirk Nowitzki. Now with a switch, Channing Frye's got him. Stevenson got it.
Well, Stevenson's playing with a lot of confidence. They like his defense, but the big thing is, look out.
That's a pretty good play to have in your back pocket.
Well, that's because Stevenson is matched up with Richardson. And as soon as Stevenson scored, Richardson took off. There was no way that he was going to catch him. But how about the pass? The pass was great.
50-foot pass right to the rim. Chandler can't handle it. Butler corrals.
Nice.
Chandler with a slam.
Okay, we have two of the best passing teams in the league here tonight. Dallas is fourth in the league at 23 assists. A lot of people don't give them that credit.
Nash gets inside, somehow finds his way into some open space in the paint and knocks it down.
Was I worried about his groin at the top of his He's got the beep-beep game going tonight.
He's been back for 11 games now. The numbers have been good. Still affects him, though. Chandler on the follow. What an active man he is in the middle.
Because of the spread-out offenses tonight, if you can beat your man off the dribble, you can get to the rim. Because people have to protect against three-point shooting at both ends.
Hill trying to back down Kidd.
Nice.
And he does it beautifully.
He likes to do that. He came from college with that from Duke. People kind of forget his first 6 years in the league. He only averaged 21 points a game. That's all.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I made the All-NBA team 5 years in a row.
Lopez got a piece.
Yeah, got to get it out now.
Numbers for Phoenix. Good hands by Butler. Chandler ahead to Butler. And we have Chandler and Nash down on the court.
Yep. Nash is ready. You got to call a timeout here now.
Chandler's gotten up and he went to help Nash up, and Nash looked like he said to Chandler that he is not ready to get up yet.
Yeah, but Butler made a great defensive play, and as the action moved over half court, you could see Nash go down, but he was behind the play. Just keep an eye on it right here.
Back in Dallas, a couple of early injuries. Tyson Chandler appears to be okay. Looked like he was favoring his hip, but Steve Nash was helped off the court. Generally speaking, walking under his own power, as you can see, but we got to look at some replays during the break, Cuba, that we're going to show the folks at home right now And we could see right away that Steve Nash knew right away he was in some difficulty.
Absolutely. Now watch, this is a clean steal. Now watch the head. The head hits the hip of Chandler, snaps his head back. You can see right here, he would not allow anyone to touch him because he knew that it was the back of the neck area.
And after about a minute on the court, Nash was helped up and walked very slowly over toward the Phoenix bench. So Goran Dragic has come to the game and immediately fouled by Jason Kidd. We're going to get you one more look at the Nash injury. And pointing to his neck. The first thing you think of when there's kind of a collision involving a person's head is maybe a concussion or something like that. But you could see right away it's more the neck than the head, and that Nash was very alert the whole time. But he was aware, Hubie, that he was in.
Because remember now, the collision was with Chandler, a 7'2" guy, moving, not standing still.
Heather Cox has more.
Steve Nash was elbowed in the back of the neck and told his training staff that he was actually feeling tingling in his arm. So they brought him back here to the locker room. He's being treated by his head athletic trainer as well as the Dallas Mavericks head physician. Robert Sarver, the GM of the team, is also back here. And as soon as they know whether or not he can return to action, I'll let you know.
All right, Heather, thank you. Stevenson, it knocks down another shot. 3 for 4 already and a 4-point lead early for the Mavericks.
Yeah, Stevenson does most of his damage on that right side of the floor.
Good offensive rebound by Dragic, going away out of his area to come up with that one. Dragic is a guy last year really blossomed, became one of the best backup point guards in the NBA, not playing as consistently at that high of a level this year, although to be fair, again, Amundsen is gone. There's some changes on the second unit for Phoenix.
Well, you know, when you look at that team, everybody just talks about Stratemeyer, but then Barbosa and Amundsen, two guys, key people on that second unit, are not here. Now, this season, Dragic is struggling with his three-point game. What they need him to do is to get back how well he played at playoff time. Play with a little bit more confidence.
Good deep position by Lopez. Got Chandler in the air and and a 3-second call.
That's a tough situation. That was a beautiful catch. Excellent ball fake by Lopez, getting Chandler in the air.
Butler draws a crowd. Stevenson came over from Washington with Butler and Haywood, and really Stevenson was kind of perceived as the throw into the deal, but he's playing very well this year. Blocked from behind by Fry, saved by Hill. Hill trailing the play, kicks to Lopez. And the rebound, Chandler.
Well, he can make that play. What they need to do now with Lopez is, he missed so many games this year, is to get his body in shape and then find the areas in the floor where he's going to be open.
And a Butler fouled on the drive.
In the early going, Dan, we're seeing great ball movement and then excellent penetration off the dribble. We have both teams that have perimeter people that can really get by you on that second dribble. Now it comes down to the defense. Can your defense rotate quickly enough to either challenge the shot or potentially pick up a charge?
Let's take one more look at the injury suffered by Steve Nash. And based on what Heather told us, that maybe he ran into an elbow there before he ran into the hip. It's the back of his head that you can see him reaching for. And he might have hit the elbow and then the hip of Tyson Chandler. Either way, got the worst of it. That was the second foul on Robin Lopez. Hakeem Warwick has come into the game now for Phoenix. Fry misses the three, and another rebound by Chandler, who had 14 rebounds in 1 quarter in a game earlier this season.
Well, he's having a terrific year. They love the fact he's playing a little over a half the game. He gives you 9 points, 9 rebounds, and one of the best shot blockers in the league.
Beautiful up and under by Dirk. Couldn't finish. Nowitzki shooting 56% from the field this season. That would by far be the highest field goal percentage that he's put up over the course of the season.
Now, if you're looking at this game objectively, both teams are getting high percentage shots. They're not knocking down the wide open shots. But you like the energy that we're seeing from foul line down at both ends. Guys are really attacking the rim.
Dragic at the line may get some big minutes tonight in the absence of Nash. Sean Marion, a former Sun, and the Jet Jason Terry coming to the game for Dallas. Pretty good 6 and 7.
Well, when you bring these two people in the game, they are two guys that are going to give you night in and night out 26 to 30 points. Then when you add Berea to this group, their bench production one of the tops that we have in the NBA.
37-year-old Jason Kidd at the point. Right now being defended by Richardson. Dragic is on Jason Terry. Butler step back jumper. Warwick the rebound. Warwick is the guy they thought might come the closest to replacing Amare Stoudemire, but there aren't many Amare Stoudemires in the league. Warwick has it rejected by Chandler.
Well, this is where Dallas is. They're tough in this building right there. You shoot and miss. You better get back quickly. You can't send guys to the board. You can't send 3 to the board because they will beat you 3-on-2 at the other end.
And you see the respect Dragic had there for the shot blocking ability of Chandler as he backed out. Richardson the miss. Butler the rebound. Marion gathers. And Chandler will get called for the loose ball foul.
Now, right now, this is a strong move. Great shot block. Anytime that you go after Chandler, he's one of the top 10 in the league. Then at the other end, when you have Terry and Marion out there, and whoever the other guards or the other perimeter people will be, they are finishers on the break.
Richardson had 3 games earlier this week where he scored a total of 18 points, bounced back with 29 Wednesday against Minnesota. There he finds Channing Frye. The big man loves to shoot it from outside. Had 7 threes Wednesday against the T-Wolves, all of them in the second half. Kidd cross court to Terry. Yes. Well, he has fun playing the game, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, and that's why I tried to say earlier, they're so good passing the basketball. That's what makes their team this year. The fact that everyone can score 1 through 10, they've improved their defense tremendously, and then they are not giving you easy opportunities. Now, tonight, their transition defense will definitely be challenged there.
Dirk sitting a little bit early. Rick Carlisle will do this, then bring him back in with a second unit at times. He likes to give Dirk 2 short rests per half instead of 1 longer one. On the NBA calendar tomorrow on NBA TV, it'll be Miami at Washington. Coverage beginning at 6:30. TNT Thursday, San Antonio, Orlando, followed by Miami at Phoenix. ESPN on Christmas Day, a tripleheader. Bulls and Knicks, Nuggets and Thunder, Trailblazers and Warriors, and also an ABC doubleheader on Christmas Day. Boston and Orlando, and then Miami at the Lakers. Miami with a very impressive second half tonight up in New York. You'll be beating the Knicks.
Well, they rose to the occasion there tonight. LeBron James had a great game, and then defensively a terrific second half.
Jared Dudley on the floor now for Phoenix. Brendan Haywood has taken the place of Tyson Chandler for Dallas. Here's Dudley. Dudley was deadly from beyond the arc last year, shooting about 46% from 3. The numbers have gone down this season. Kidd. And Haywood can't handle.
You got to score here.
And Dragic will just kind of gently dunk it over the front of the rim. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Phoenix down by 5 to Dallas in the early going here tonight. To try to come into a place like Dallas and win. Now they're without Steve Nash as well, who suffered an injury about 4.5 minutes into the game. If you weren't with us then, let's give you another look. A loose ball, and he scrambles for it and runs into Tyson Chandler. You see better from this angle right now. It's the elbow there. The elbow to the back of the head before the front of the head hits the hip of Chandler, and watch Nash right away pointing and saying, I need some help. Walked off, and Heather Cox will tell us he's not coming back.
Indeed, and the reason that Steve Nash was so concerned is that he actually had tingling in his arms and his hands were numb, so that's why he wanted to take his time. But yes, the doctors have told me he will not return. He has been diagnosed with a stinger, which is a common nerve injury in football. The good news, no concussion, but they do continue to do more neurological testing back in the locker room because they're certainly concerned about those numb hands.
All right, Heather, thank you. So Goran Dragic is going to get some big minutes. You look at the active players of the active roster for the Suns, there's no other point guard, so either Dragic is playing the whole game, or somebody like Richardson or Hill will have to handle the ball at some point. But hopefully this is not a serious, and it is a temporary, a very short-term thing for Steve Nash.
Absolutely.
Marion, no. Haywood, and a foul. And now Brendan Haywood very early is going to have to handle something that has been a huge problem for him this year. A career 62% free throw shooter. So far this season, he's shooting 28% from the line. Although, as you saw Wednesday when you were here, he's 2 for his last 2, as Rick Carlisle said. Yeah.
Big thing right there. That was a smart foul. Force him to go to the line. Make him make the foul shots.
Rick Carlisle saying part of the problem maybe instead of being a starter, now he's coming off the bench. Chandler has kind of taken the starting job. Haywood's not getting as many reps, not getting as many minutes.
Well, I like what they're getting out of both guys. Out of both guys, they're getting the 14 points. All right, and then also they're getting an excellent rebounding and shot blocking. They're getting close to 3 shot blocks out of that position. So it's improved their painted area defense.
Shot clock at 5. Richardson finds Warwick, and that's what Warwick can do. He may not be Stoudemire, but he can explode to the rim. He's just not nearly as physically strong as Stoudemire.
That's right. See, this will take the pressure off of Dragic. He's not Steve Nash. He's not going to make something happen every possession. The other guys can help out here.
Terry, nice look. Kid wide open. Shooting the ball very well from beyond the arc the last few years. After struggling in the early part of his career, but he misses that one.
Oh, beautiful move. Great move by Richardson. He went to the corner. He gets fronted. He ran a back door. Unfortunately, the pass was not good enough, but he had an opportunity for a layup.
Good help there by Haywood. Kidd and Butler sit down. Nowitzki is back into the game for Dallas, and J.J. Barea has come in. Barea's not shooting the ball well from beyond the arc, but Rick Carlisle loves his floor game, and Dallas goes zone now, Coach.
Yeah, this is what they do when they have Terry and Barea in there. They play 2-3 zone.
Warwick misses the slam, but does draw the foul. Well, he's got a seemingly endless wingspan, doesn't he?
Well, he's got quickness. There's no doubt about it. The only thing is that he's on the frail side for a guy to play power forward. Yeah. But he's quick. He'll attack the rim. He can hit the 17, 18-foot face with jumping. But the big thing right now is when this team goes 2-3 zone with Terry and Barea, you've got to get movement and ball into that painted area so you break the defense down and get 2-on-1 situations. Let's see if it will happen. Barea's played terrific off the bench. He's struggling with his three-point shooting. He's missed his last 16. The guy still gives you 9 points a game, shoots a high percentage, and he's one of the best that they have off the dribble getting to the rim.
And he has more assists than any bench player in the NBA this season. And how about Phoenix making a run after Nash was injured to getting back into this game? Terry the pull-up. Warwick skies for the rebound. The Suns looking for the lead.
I like what they're doing. No second shot attempts for Dallas.
Nowitzki the rebound off the Richardson miss. Dirk Nowitzki a quiet 2 points, 1 for 3 so far, but again spent a couple of minutes on the bench here in the first quarter.
Well, right there, Terry was shocked, mainly because he saw Haywood going on the baseline. He made the pass. Haywood had no idea that the ball was even coming to him.
Dragic turns the corner. Warwick lays it in. Phoenix leads.
Dragic has already been to the line 6 times. He's making things happen off to the dribble. He gets in a situation like that, he can score or give it up. That's what we mean, the 2-on-1 in the paint.
Barea finds Marion, who lost it on the way up.
4-on-3.
Richardson will slow it down. They're going to hold for the final shot of the quarter.
Now they're man-to-man now. They'll trap it. Oh, Haywood, you got to do a better job than that.
Dragic misses badly from the elbow. Dudley, and he will shoot a couple.
The second unit of the bench boys of Phoenix. They score a ton of points. There's no doubt about this group. They can get it up there. This year, they are scoring a shade under 38 points. The problem is, over the overall 10 guys who play, the defense is such a minus.
Second foul on Dirk Nowitzki. Jared Dudley at the line. A tremendously energetic player, fourth-year player out of Boston College.
Let me just bring up the defensive problem here for Dallas, okay? I mean, for Phoenix. They're giving up 110 a game. That's last in the league. Field goal percentage against 49%. That's last in the league. So you know that if you're going to get it done here, you got to D it up.
The Suns finish the quarter on an 11-1 run and have the lead here at the end of one in Dallas. Steve Nash, injured early in this game, suffered a stinger, will not return. But the Suns playing well in his absence, and they've got the lead over Jason Terry and the Mavs.
Welcome back to Dallas, where the Suns have a 3-point lead. Coach Gentry, your point guard Steve Nash out for the remainder of the game. How does his absence really change the dynamics and strategy for you?
Well, I mean, obviously he's the heart and soul of our team, and he's the engine, you know, that runs the car. So we'll have to have Goran step in. We have to have other guys step in and do the job for him.
Coach, you guys are giving up 110 points per game. Defensively, where do you need to shore things up tonight?
Well, I think you can see that we give up too many middle drives, and there's too many things happening in the paint right now. We got to make them shoot some jump shots from the perimeter.
Coach, thanks for your time.
All right, sure.
Jumper from the corner, short for Fry. Phoenix responding well after the injury to Nash. And they've got a lead here as we enter the second quarter. Boy, but when Jason Terry puts the pedal to the metal, nobody seems to be able to get back and stop him.
Well, right now we have the Phoenix bench. Right now, the Phoenix bench is doing a good job. It's 13-8. And you like that because once Dragic came into the game, along with Warwick, they picked up the pace a little bit. They're getting better looks once they get the ball into the painted area.
Foul on J.J. Barea. Going to be some big minutes for Goran Dragic tonight. Maybe every minute, unless somebody else handles the point. There's no other true point guard on the roster right now for Phoenix.
Nice move.
Dudley the fadeaway, a little bit short. Rebound Nowitzki.
Yeah, it was too bad. He faded a little too far on that shot. They continue to run that curl move on the left side of the floor.
Terry to Marion. Boy, those two are working well together.
Well, you got two experienced guys who've averaged double figures ever since they've been in the league, and they're pressure players, especially at playoff time.
And Terry, of course, Hubie doesn't mind coming off the bench. She was one of the veterans on the Mavericks team who said, why don't you start Deshaun Stevenson? Gives the team a defender in the starting unit and gives them a true scorer in Terry, of course, with the second unit. Dirk, tough catch and finish.
Now, that's the first time that they fronted Dirk Nowitzki in the post area. I like the fact that Dirk ran him right into the post. When you front him, he moved you up the line a little bit, and the lob pass was right on the money.
Second field goal of the night for Nowitzki.
Oh, offensive foul.
Yeah, Dragic got away with one and then got the bounce as well. He's living a charmed life.
No, he sure did. He got away with the push with the left forearm.
8 for Dragic.
I like what we're seeing at the Phoenix end. They're running some beautiful curl down screens, baseline screens, giving their guys nice opportunities.
And away from the ball, a Phoenix foul, Hakeem Warwick.
Now just watch to the right side on the baseline. You see the fronting of the post. Now, as soon as that lob came, you could see the rotation on the baseline, but they missed the ball right there. But at least they had two guys trying to cover the rotation.
Nowitzki draws the double team. 5 to shoot. Terry over Hito Turkoglu knocks it down. Jason Terry has come to play tonight.
Well, he loves it on the baseline, whether it's on the right side or left side of the floor. Extremely dangerous guy, and then naturally a terrific three-point shooter.
7 points in 7 minutes off the bench so far for the Jet. Here comes Dragic again.
I'll tell you, that the guy on the baseline is open now the last 3 times. The man with the ball at the top of the foul line has not even looked at him. He's been wide open. That they can explore and get a layup almost every opportunity.
Robin Lopez back in. Second game back from a knee injury. Strained ligaments, missed 14 games. Played well Wednesday against Minnesota in his return, Hubie. 12 points and 8 rebounds in 24 minutes.
Well, he played great last year. Remember, they made it run when they put him in the starting lineup. They were 22-9 down the end of the year.
And that might not be Nash and Stoudemire, but Dragic and Lopez executing the pick and roll there.
And they did it beautifully. What you always like with a big guy, just catch the ball, go up and dunk it with 2 hands. Now just watch. This is a nice move. Your man comes over. Now send it down with both hands. That way they're not going to knock you off balance. You'll get the 2 and a potential 3 on the line. Now remember, last year they finished the year 22-9. Lopez as a starter. Then they do a great job in the playoffs as they move right to the Western Conference Finals before they lose to the Lakers 4-2. Lopez played great.
And Hubie, trouble for Dallas. Dirk Nowitzki just picked up his 3rd foul. He's got only 4 points in 12 minutes, and now he's gone to the bench. And who knows if Rick Carlisle will sit him for the rest of the half. Marion slithers his way in and draws the foul. He'll shoot a couple.
The second unit defensively with guys like Dudley and Warwick out there, they're constantly flying on the rotations. They are rotating from side to side. They're trying to help out as best they can. All right, now, no legitimate point guard on the floor out there right now, but you have to remember you have Turkoglu and Grant Hill, who both can handle the ball.
How about some veterans off the bench in Sean Marion and Jason Terry, both putting up good numbers on the season and both putting up big numbers tonight.
Well, that's what we told you now. 26 points between these 2 guys. Then you add 9 from Barea. That's not bad for your first 8 guys. 3 guys coming off the bench. Night in and night out, they do it. Now, right now, they're giving you, they looks like a 2-2-1 zone press. They don't press. They just buy time in the backcourt. Now, 2-3 zone.
So Turkoglu and Hill, the 2 best ball handlers in this group, with no point guard on the floor for Phoenix, trying to solve the zone. Hill's got to force up a contested shot. And Dallas pushing the ball the other way in a hurry. Wide open, Caron Butler. And a rebound to Lopez.
I see the big key right now is going, oh, great move. Great move by one of the better steal guys that we have in the league. Jason Terry plays the passing lanes beautifully.
Terry now with a game-high 9. Turkoglu still really struggling to find his way here in Phoenix. Struggled in Toronto last year. Has lost his starting job, not putting up big numbers. Only 9.5 points per game. 4-on-1, Hubie.
Oh, they'll give it up. Right now, you got to get a timeout here. You got to get a timeout and get reorganized. Either that or slow it down. Because with Hill in the backcourt and Turkoglu in the backcourt, you have 2 slow guys in transition, and they're just running away from it.
Yeah, the injury to Nash. Dragic getting a breather. In and out for Lopez. Haywood rips the rebound away from Dudley.
He loves the paint.
Terry, good shot fake, and he draws the foul on Turkoglu. Phoenix is just challenged at a number of positions right now, trying to keep up with the Mavericks.
Well, when you look at Marion, Barea, and Terry, these guys are jets out on the break, plus totally unselfish, and they all will attack.
And thank you. Tough news for Yao Ming and Houston. A tough time here for Alvin Gentry in Phoenix without Steve Nash. Coach Gentry's preaching defense in the huddle.
Get better defensively now, okay? We got to stop all the paint stuff. If it's jump shots, we can live with it with a hand in their face, but we can't have them landed in the basket all the time. Come on now, let's go, okay?
He's right on the money, mainly because the transition game, 6 for 6 scores by Dallas in the open court for 13 points.
Terry on the drive, followed by Haywood.
Well, that's what they need him to do. Get on the offensive glass. There's no one out there on the floor right now who can test your physical strength.
And Phoenix has a lot of wing players, a lot of 3-4s, and almost all of them are in the game right now. With Nash injured, Dragic on the bench, you got Lopez who lays it in, but then Dudley's a wing guy, Hill's a wing guy, Turkoglu's really a small forward, occasionally plays power forward. Same with Hakeem Warwick. The pieces of the puzzle just not quite fitting together with this group.
Now, with the 2-3 zone, you got to get it to the baseline, into the paint, or into the middle of the floor, into the paint. Then you'll break them down.
Sean Marion, boy, it's as if Jason Terry and Sean Marion said, how about I pass to you this time and you'll pass to me next time? They're playing beautifully.
Well, they only have 19 points between them since they came in the game, right?
Dallas is 8 for 9 here in the second quarter. Dragic is going to check back in for Phoenix.
Come on now, if you're going to catch the ball that high in a high post, you have to look down inside.
He'll know. Haywood got a piece of it. Barea the loose ball for the Mavericks. Good hands by Turkoglu to force the turnover.
Come on now, attack.
Dudley got it.
When you're breaking 2-on-2 in that situation, you pull up, you got to make the shot. Mainly because with any kind of a crossover or a spin move, you can get that defender on your back and take him to the rim.
Phoenix at the beginning of a tremendously difficult part of their schedule. They're at Oklahoma City Sunday, at San Antonio Monday, home to Miami Wednesday as Marion buries the shot from the corner.
Well, a lot of people forget when Marion played for Phoenix, he was a big-time three-point shooter.
It might not look pretty, but the numbers are pretty good. 3-on-2.
I think it's about as long as it goes in. Is that it? Yeah,
exactly
as long
right.
as it goes in. I don't care how you release it.
Yeah.
Just have it go in.
It's all about results, and the Mavericks are getting them with a 9-point lead over Phoenix. Jason Terry is in a holiday spirit. Back here in Dallas, Dan Shulman, Hubie Brown, Heather Cox, and Grant Hill. And the Phoenix Suns trying to stay close in this game without Steve Nash. Their quarterback, their floor leader, suffered a stinger, an elbow to the head, an inadvertent elbow to the head in the scramble for the ball earlier with Tyson Chandler. And Nash felt some numbness and tingling in his arms and in his hands. He will not return to the game tonight.
No, this is a terrible loss. Terrible loss for Phoenix, no doubt about that. Dragic was in the game. They tried to give him a blow. Since Dragic has gone to the bench scoring is Dallas 19-4 over Phoenix. They're running away with them because Phoenix cannot make a shot against the zone. And then the fast break transition game, 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-3. Now, I hate to say this, but they just did at a timeout.
Yeah.
You know, they had a tub out on the floor. I don't know what the substance is,
Confetti
but it
or
is
paper
now
or something.
all over the court, and they cannot get it up.
So we have a delay, and for those of you who weren't with us earlier, here's the injury suffered by Nash. It looks like the front of his head hits the hip of Chandler, but it's before that, actually, right there, where the back of his head, Nash's head, hits Chandler's elbow. And Nash stayed down on the court for quite some time, eventually needed some help getting up, then walked off the court under his own power. But because of the stinger and some numbness and tingling, he will not return to the game.
No, this is very difficult. He's your main man. He's your team leader, second in the league in assists, a shade under 11, shoots over 50% every single year. Now, by taking Dragic out of the game, you put Grant Hill in the backcourt along with Turkoglu. So what happens now is that anytime you shoot and miss or you turn it over, you have two front court guys trying to get back against a very speedy group of Barea, Terry, and Marion, and they are running them into the ground. Right now it's 13-7 on the break, but in points just in this quarter, second unit, Marion has 13 and Terry has 9. Just amazing. 22.
Somebody in the Dallas Mavericks promotions department is getting what for right now.
I would think so.
For putting this one together. How this got past everybody is beyond you.
Because you know what happens now? A few of these things, if they melt or something and you have a fast break going on and someone slips or turns an ankle, it's not worth the promotion.
And whatever it is, I don't know, I can't tell if it's paper or confetti, what it is exactly, but they got most of them off the floor, but there's still a bunch of it out on the floor. Hopefully nobody slips. Let's get an update now on Steve Nash. Again, here's Heather.
Well, Dan, Steve Nash remains in the locker room where he is watching the game. And, Steve, we certainly wish you a quick recovery. He does have ice on the back of his neck. He says there's still tingling in what he described 4 areas of his body, in one arm and one leg. But he said it's slowly flashing back and forth. So there is slow but gradual improvement in that nerve damage that has been described as a stinger. No concussion, but, again, he will not return for the remainder of this game.
All right, Heather, thank you. And we echo your sentiments that hopefully it is nothing too serious for one of the NBA's great stars. Channing Frye misses a chippy, and now a carry called on Caron Butler.
When you have a situation where guys are not accustomed to getting themselves free against the zone, now that was the perfect example. Frye catches the ball 6 to 8 feet away from the bat. He's wide open, and he doesn't know whether he should dunk it or shoot a hook. And he ends up scoring 0.
Jason Kidd back into the game. A smaller lineup now. Terry, Barea, and Kidd all in the game for the Mavericks.
Well, they'll play Jason Kidd up front if they play the 2-3 zone. That's how they like to match up.
Dragic driving on Barea. Tough little fadeaway is good, and Goran Dragic is into double figures now with 10.
Well, he's got to understand he can take Barea off the dribble and shoot over the top of him. He has size on him, and the fact that he's left-handed. Right now, Phoenix in the zone for the first time in a 2-3 zone.
Barea lines it up, misses the three. He is just 7 for 56 on the season shooting three-point range, but Rick Carlisle told us everything else about him is going great. His floor game, distributing the ball. Fry, this is what he does best.
Well, he's more relaxed when he's facing the basket. You brought out a good point, Dan. He had 7 threes on Wednesday night when they played against Minnesota. He loves it out in the middle of the floor behind the three-point line.
That's the first 3 of the game, Hubie, for Phoenix. Jason Terry, he'll answer with a 3 of his own.
Well, we know that Phoenix is second in the league. They're a shade under 9 makes a game in threes. Now, at the other end, Dallas, no slouch. They make 7 a game.
Jason Terry and Sean Marion have combined for 25 first-half points off the bench for the Mavericks. Channing Frye, not this time. Full speed ahead. Here come the Mavericks again. Marion lost it on the way up, got it back, missed again. Rebound Suns.
I like the movement, though. They have great movement, meaning the Dallas team. They continue to run that baseline and run screens for one another.
Dragic, the lefty, going right most of the time tonight. He scrambles for the loose ball. 5 on the shot clock. And a shot clock violation.
Like you always tell players, do not jump in the air unless you're going to shoot the ball. Don't jump in the air and try to pass.
All right, Hannah, thank you. So the Heat win, the Lakers win. They're the feature game on a Christmas Day. There are 5 games coming your way. NBA Christmas Day presented by Theraflu. The Bulls and Knicks get it started on ESPN at noon. Then it's Boston, Orlando on ABC at 2:30. Miami and the Lakers at 5. Back to ESPN at 9 for the Nuggets and Thunder, followed by the Blazers and Warriors. You'll be in Orlando. You'll see the Magic and Celtics. Going to be a great Christmas Day of NBA action.
The reason why they're in a zone right now is to protect their guys. They cannot cover all that ball movement on the baseline. So what they're going to try to do now is keep them perimeter, force them to take the long shots, and see if they can change the tempo offensively of Dallas.
In a smaller lineup for Dallas, Sean Marion playing the power forward position right now.
Come on, Dragic's got to throw the ball at Hill. I mean, come on. He had Kidd posted in there for 5 seconds. He kept looking at him, and Hill got really depressed that he never got the pass.
Hill at 6'8", taking advantage of Kidd at 6'4". All things considered, Hubie, Phoenix down 7. This could have been a lot worse at this point.
Oh, absolutely. No, they're gonna keep coming at you. They're well coached. They play with a lot of intensity. They have an excellent second unit. But right now, the Dallas bench is just doing a terrific job. They have 28 of the 48 points.
Robin Lopez turns on Chandler. Left hand, no. Got it back. Fresh 24.
There you go. No, it's about time. The guy got fouled about 3 times in that situation. I like the fact that he stays after it. You know, he might give away weight. He might give away some jumping ability, but just watch now. He's going to continue to work down in there. He missed the 1 shot. Now he's going to continue to go at it. He'll challenge.
Coming up on the Toyota halftime show, the Heat are still hot. They continue their winning streak, and Kobe Bryant cold in Philly tonight. We are here in Dallas, the American Airlines Center. The Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks are hot. They had a 12-game winning streak snapped Monday by Milwaukee, but then they bounced back with a win over Portland on a Wednesday night, so they have won 13 of their last 14, and they've got one of the best records in the NBA, coach, at 20-5 on the season.
Well, they've done a terrific job on the road. Anytime you're 8-1 on the road in this league and beating a lot of teams over 500, you know you got a good club. Jason
Terry having some kind of a night. He's got 14 points off the bench in the first half and 5 assists. Final minute.
You got plenty of time. You got to get somebody. See, you don't need it on the post. You can post up against the zone in the paint.
Lopez didn't want to go to work the first time on Marion. Now he will, but he fades away. All of 5 inches and a height advantage.
Yeah, you're right. See, and that was a good call, Dan, because all of his shots are off the front of the rim.
Oh, boy.
He's murder.
The Jet is ready for takeoff here tonight.
He's murder on the baseline. He loves the play. And a lot of small guys do not like to shoot on that baseline, especially that midpoint area.
We saw Dirk Nowitzki on the bench. He hasn't done a whole lot here tonight because of foul trouble. Just 4 points in 12 minutes. He's got 3 fouls. Good steal by Marion. Dallas can hold for the final shot.
You jump up in the air and you go to pass the ball. Defender intercepts.
Marion from Kidd.
This is just great basketball. And just keep an eye on it. So this team will pass the ball. Right now you have Marion and Terry at 17 points apiece. Both of these guys, remember now, they're bench players.
So 31 points between Terry and Marion. Phoenix looking for a good final look here to close the half. Fry for 3. And Dallas pulls away a little bit in the last couple of minutes. Jason Terry having fun, knocking down shots. The Mavericks survive some foul trouble from Dirk Nowitzki. The Suns lose Steve Nash to injury early, and off the bench for the Mavericks come Jason Terry and Sean Marion to combine for 31 points. Heather Cox is with Jason Terry.
As he's congratulating all of his teammates, which you've been doing throughout this game, Jason. You've been animated, you've been pumping up the crowd, you've been pumping up your teammates. How important is tempo and energy in this game?
Tempo is very important. Everybody likes to say Phoenix is the best running team in the league. Well, these Mavs are out to prove something tonight. But, you know, without Steve Nash, it's our job to go out here and impose our will on both ends of the floor. We're getting stops, we're running out, getting easy baskets.
And the bench certainly carrying the load. How much pressure are you guys feeling to really carry it when the starters are struggling?
Well, it's not a lot of pressure, but of late, we've been getting big leads with our starters, and our bench hasn't carried their weight. Tonight, starters getting a rest, we're taking care of business.
Well done. Take that energy to the locker room. I wish we could bottle that, guys.
All right, Heather, thank you very much. Jason Terry, a sensational first half. The Toyota halftime show is coming up next with the Dallas leading Phoenix 54-42. Jason Terry, Sean Marion, and the rest of the Mavericks getting it up and down the floor and playing some awfully pretty efficient basketball at the offensive end. The Mavericks lead by a dozen. Hannah Storm and Jalen Rose, we're going to send you to the studio with them for the Toyota halftime show right after this. NBA Friday on ESPN, and we welcome you back to American Airlines Center here in downtown Dallas, with the 20-5 Mavericks have a 12-point lead on Phoenix as we get ready for the start of the second half. Let's take a look, though, first at our first half stats, brought to you by the upcoming movie release, The Fighter. And the Dallas Mavericks, they shoot 48% as a team on the season, second best to the NBA. They shot 50% in the first half against Phoenix and really shared the ball beautifully. 15 assists on 22 made field goals. But the big story in the first half, the injury to Phoenix Suns star guard Steve Nash at the 7:17 mark of the first half, colliding with first the elbow and then the hip of Tyson Chandler. It was the elbow to the back of the head, and you could see Nash motioning to the bench right away. He knew he needed some help. He suffered some numbness and some tingling in his arms and hands and will not return. First and foremost, you hope he's okay. As Heather Cox has told us, he's in the locker room. Pretty scary the way that he went down.
Oh, absolutely. Mainly, he's your team leader. He's your key guy. Sets everything up, sets a tone. And then also, he's your heart and soul. He's the guy who runs your team. Let's just hope that this is only a one-game situation.
Definitely. The Mavericks taking advantage in his absence, especially two guys off the bench. Jason Terry and Sean Marion just blew up in that first half.
Well, anytime that you have two guys who come off the bench, give you 31 points, it's all in the half-court game and in transition. They've been a blur out on the break. Fast break point, 17-7. Well, mainly because of Marion and Terry in the open floor. Anytime they get in the half-court game, these two guys off the dribble are setting up other people. Terry, along with his points, has 5 assists. It's been beautiful to watch if you're a Dallas fan. Unfortunately for Phoenix at the other end, they are 1 for 9 in threes. But keep an eye now on the Mavericks, Terry and Marion. Not only the 31 points, but how about the shooting? Beautiful to watch.
Heather Cox had a chance to speak with Alvin Gentry. Heather?
And I asked Coach Gentry about his star point guard, Steve Nash, who does now have feeling in all of his extremities. So there's the good news. And I asked about Goran Dragic, his replacement. He said, I just told him he needs to play with more aggressiveness, but he wants to get his teammates more involved, start hitting that outside shot against Dallas's zone. Coach Gentry thinks that's the key to this ballgame.
Dragic has 10 points as we enter the second half. That's more than anybody else on the Phoenix Suns right now. Hill to miss, but Phoenix should be just 1 for 9 from three-point range. They've got to knock down the 3 to win.
Because that's a big stat, mainly because Dallas was in a zone for such a long period of time. Now, once again, Phoenix is coming out in the second half, playing a 2-3 zone. They're going to try to keep Dallas out of the painted area.
Butler no, and the rebound to Fry. One point Alvin Gentry made to us earlier today. When Amari Stoudemire was on the team, not only would he get his 20 or 22 points, pick and roll and so forth, but the people he drew towards him on the pick and roll action would invariably leave three-point shooters open. That's not happening as much this year.
No, well, of course not, because you can play it. You don't have to double team anymore if Nash isn't in the game. And if you can get under and force him to give up the ball, stay with the three-pointers.
Caron Butler with a long 2 to make it a 14-point lead for the Mavericks. This is their largest lead of the night.
A lot of pressure on this group to have Dragic out. They've got to make things happen. The offense cannot be by the numbers. It's got to react quickly.
Not a lot of movement offensively, so Dragic tries to take matters into his own hands.
That was a bad percentage shot. I mean, he missed that by 3 feet.
Nowitzki, a quiet first half, some foul trouble, played 12 minutes, scored 4 points. Stevenson short, rebound Richardson.
You have a break here. You have 4 on 2.
The pull up, and Richardson buries it.
Anytime that you're on the break and you take the ball to the wing, you always must watch the cutter in the middle. Grant Hill was wide open as he cut right down through the lane. And you can see they're saying right now, Phoenix is saying we're playing zone no matter what. Makes or misses.
Caron Butler, his second field goal of the second half.
Well, he's playing excellent basketball. There's no doubt about it. He's healthy now. He's a good defender, a good rebound for you. In the open floor, he can run, and then he can create for you off the dribble.
Great bounce pass with the backdoor cut. Channing Frye finding Jason Richardson.
Well, let's see now if you can get Dallas to miss, get out in the break, and then you being one of the best three-point shooting teams will get off to 1 for 9.
Kidd, the lob, and Chandler the finish.
We've seen a lot of that. They're second in the league. Chandler is second in the league in dunks off of lobs to Aldridge from Portland.
Kidd averaging almost 9 assists per game as Richardson knocks down another one. Phoenix heating up. Can they get some stops?
Well, the big thing is you're hoping that Richardson can get his game done because he was very quiet in that first half.
Dragic takes it away from Kidd.
You got a challenge.
Richardson. And Robin Lopez. Yeah, I'd say that's a loose ball foul.
Just keep an eye here on Richardson on the back door. That was a beautiful move. He was overplayed. The pass was right on him. Now watch to the left of your screen. Anytime that you come off the screen with Chandler rolls. If you're going to trap the dribbler like they did in that situation, where is your baseline help?
You know, unfortunately, we're not getting a chance to see Steve Nash play because of the injury. But in Nash and Kidd, you've got 2 point guards playing as well at an advanced age as just about anybody in the history of the game. Nowitzki buries it. I mean, you're really talking Stockton, Nash, Kidd for guys at 36, 37, right?
And at the top of their game in feeding other people and creating high percentage shots.
Jason Kidd second all-time on the NBA assist list. As Steve Nash is 8th and could be 6th by the end of this season. And Kidd is fouled. Well, here they are along with John Stockton, guys, point guards at 36 years of age or older, the highest assist totals ever. And right now Steve Nash is putting it up with Kidd and Stockton right behind him. That's pretty good company right there.
Well, when you look at it, just remember John Stockton had 15,806 assists. Right? Kidd is 11,142. He's second.
He's second. He's 4,000 behind.
That's right.
Our Mark Jackson is third, and as we mentioned, Steve Nash is eighth. Dallas extends the lead to 17 here early in the third quarter. And forward to that great set of games on ESPN and ABC on a Christmas Day. Here the Dallas Mavericks with a 17-point lead over the Nashless Phoenix Suns. Nash suffering a stinger early in the first quarter. Some numbness and tingling in his arms and will not return. Jason Kidd with a steal. Right now the Mavericks are just taking over here in the third quarter. They're playing with a lot of energy at the defensive end. They're sharing the ball and they're knocking down shots at the offensive end.
Well, see, this first unit has the total package. They can defend, block shots, rebound, kick it out. Their fast break game is absolutely outstanding. They'll pass the ball. They're very unselfish. And then they got the three-point game.
Kidd forces the turnover. He just picked up assist number 8 last time down the floor. And they're doing everything they're doing really with limited contributions from Dirk Nowitzki because of foul trouble. A wide open look.
What I like about them, they have patience. They understand the clock. It's a veteran team. They don't shoot quickly unless they have a good shot.
Richardson, no. So let me ask you this, Hubie. They got knocked out in the first round of the playoffs last year. Now they've added Chandler, but otherwise it's basically the same team. And a lot of people thought they were too old last year. Why are they playing so well this year?
Well, what it comes down to is they're better defensively. And then also they've changed how they're matching up that first unit. See, by putting Stevenson into that verting cup, you don't have to run plays for him. You don't have to run any plays for Chandler. But then what you're doing is opening up the game for the other three people. And then when they come with that bench, come on now, they showed it to us in the first half tonight. Their bench is dynamite.
Terry, Marion, and Berea specifically. Brendan Haywood also the backup for Tyson Chandler as Nowitzki is held by Hill. And for the reasons that Hubie just talked about, Dallas has one of the very best records in the NBA.
Well, when you look at the fact that if they win this game tonight, they'll be 13-4 at home. Well, you like to always see that. But the big thing is we would be 14-3 against the West. And the West has so many teams that are going to win 50 games. Then you look at it, well, how are they on the road? They're 8-1 on the road. So they're playing great basketball.
Haven't played a lot of road games, but they've done very well on the road. They got a couple of tough ones coming up this week. Monday at Miami, then Tuesday at Orlando. The dreaded Florida back-to-back for Rick Carlisle and the Mavericks. And then they're off for 5 days. They don't play until the 27th when they're at Oklahoma City. So both of these teams in the midst of a very difficult stretch in their schedule. Grant Hill trying to defend Nowitzki, giving up a lot of size. Kidd loves to post, does it very well.
He does that extremely well. And the one thing is, the thing about him, he's the #1 rebounding point guard in the history of the game. And he has more rebounds than Oscar Robertson and Michael Jordan as a point guard. Just think about that. That's a staggering stat.
Warwick looking for help. Shot clock at 5. Fry. And the rebound to Warwick, who got held by Jason Kidd.
Now, Jason Kidd loves the post up. And he'll take you down inside. No double team. Well, he's just going to shoot up over the top of Dragic any single time that he gets the ball down in that area.
Phoenix still ice cold from beyond the arc, just 1 for 13 on the night. They've made the second most threes of any team in the NBA this year.
You notice the coverage here in this third quarter?
There's one for
Yeah,
five.
you made one right there. But I like the coverage that they ran 3 guys off of shots. So you can see this is a better defensive team, probably the best since Rick Carlisle has been here in Dallas. They're covering, and they really cover for one another unselfishly.
Stevenson behind the back. Chandler stripped away. I think Hill got him.
Yeah, he got hit on the head.
Fry lines up another 3. Chandler, he keeps shaking out that right hand and right wrist. He fell on it a few minutes ago and still isn't feeling right. And Fry won't let Nowitzki get to the rim.
Whenever you play against Dallas, there's no letting up because their transition game is so proficient. Then when they come down and you stop them in the transition game, they immediately go into their secondary break.
Right.
And if they have a mismatch, they get the ball right to that guy. And this is the perfect example of Nowitzki going to the line now. He had a mismatch right away. They get the ball to him, take the guy one-on-one.
And as you said, they're also buying in at the defensive end. The defensive numbers are much better this year than they were last year. There's a lot of basketball to be played and a lot of good teams in this league, but they're looking like a complete package right now.
Well, the big thing with them is his age. Will they continue to do this once we get into 50 games to 75 to 82 games? Can they do it? And then when they get to playoff time, can they get out of that first round?
Butler bumped and finishes. Great strength by Caron Butler.
I just want to bring out your point, Dan, about getting in the playoffs. You can see 3 out of the last 4 years they've been knocked out in the first round. Now tonight they're having a lot of fun because they're just breaking Phoenix down off the dribble at will.
Jared Dudley will take the place of Channing Frye. Frye's got 4 fouls. And Butler, who kind of on this team, Hubie, just kind of blends in. You think about Dirk and you think about Jason Kidd, of course, and then Terry off the bench. And Caron Butler just kind of a glue guy at this point of his career with this bunch.
Yeah, but with this bunch, you know, he gets you 14 a game, and then he shoots such a high percentage in threes as well as from the floor.
Dudley lost it. Numbers again for the Mavericks. Stevenson.
Oh, Charlie. Yeah, good call. He took it.
Let's talk about Grant Hill a little bit.
Yeah, right. He took that one, and you say, wow, Grant Hill at his age just took one, and you're down 22. Well, great players. They understand how to play the game, and they don't take plays off.
Alvin Gentry telling us some of the players Grant Hill has guarded recently. He's guarding Dirk Nowitzki tonight. When they play Chicago, he gets Derrick Rose. Oklahoma City, Kevin Durant. Miami, LeBron. San Antonio in a couple days, Manu Ginobili. He gets the toughest guy.
Oh, yeah, but when he plays the Lakers, he gets a night off. He gets Kobe.
That's right. Heather's got more.
Guys, Grant Hill also credits his defense to another unusual source, and we'll certainly tell you about it after the break. That's a little tease.
All right, Heather. We'll come back with more on that story in just a moment. Dallas leading by 20.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Friday, brought to you by Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Experience the all-new Outlander Sport at your Mitsubishi dealer. And Taco Bell, think outside the bun.
And thank you. Time now to take a look at our Mitsubishi game track. This was a close game of the first quarter. In spite of the injury to Steve Nash, Phoenix hung tough, actually led at the end of the first quarter, but Dallas has pulled away ever since then. The bench has been great for the Mavericks, and they lead by 20. Now, before we were so rudely interrupted by that timeout, here's Heather Cox to finish her story.
A little bit more on Grant Hill and the type of players he's defended. Kobe Bryant, who you just heard about. Also, Derrick Rose, LeBron, Dirk Nowitzki tonight. Just a few of the people he's defended over the last week. And an unusual source that he credits for his improved defense. Actually, off-season LASIK surgery. He said it allows improved peripheral, easy for me to say, vision, better angles, gets in the passing lane, all things that helps him be a better defender this season.
How nice is it to see, Hubie, just a healthy Grant Hill after all.
Oh, that's right. See, 24 games, he's played in all 24. Because let's face it, he missed close to 6 years down in Orlando with all of the injuries and the operations on his foot. And it's just nice to see him back playing with a spirit. Because I always want to say this about Grant Hill. His first 6 years in the league, he made the All-NBA team 5 times. He made the first team once, averaged 21 points a game, around 8 rebounds, and then was one of the better defenders that we had.
Warren. Triple team. Chandler with the easy block from behind, and Dallas looking to run again. The lob, and a good D by Richardson.
Well, we're looking at this game and we're saying, what's wrong with Phoenix? Well, we know they're shooting 36%. We know that they're 2 for 15 in threes. Totally uncharacteristic about their club. But give Dallas credit. They are challenging all the shots. They got them out of the rhythm when they went to their zone. Now that they're back playing man-to-man, they're up challenging and rotating, and they're forcing Phoenix to shoot quick on the clock or shoot quick on the catch. So I say, nice round of applause for the Dallas defense here for 3 quarters.
And for the Dallas bench, which has just come into the game, Jason Terry, Sean Marion, and J.J. Barea. Terry and Marion are combining for 31 first-half points. Nowitzki driving on Earl Clark, the youngster out of Louisville, second-year player. And Alvin Gentry says he's been playing about as well as anybody in practice. He's just had trouble finding him minutes in the game. But in this kind of a situation, he gets a chance to look at one of his young guys. Terry, the pull-up. As we go inside the final 2 minutes here in the third. Here's Clark. He's got some range. Around and out, rebound Chandler.
It's just, remember we say about the Phoenix Suns, they're one of the better shooting teams that we have in the league. Dallas and Phoenix are tied at 48% at second in this league in shooting. And we're seeing one team doing what they do, the other team can't make a field goal.
Yeah, Dallas is at 52 on the night. Phoenix is at 35, and they're only 2 for 16 from three-point range. Dallas is 6 for 12. Richardson will shoot a couple.
Well, it's always nice to watch your first unit when you're playing at home, that they have the whole package. They're in the half-court game, they executed beautifully. When Phoenix went to the zone, they still got some good shots at the basket. Fast break game, undeniable, absolutely fantastic. 17-7 at halftime on the break.
On the NBA calendar, on NBA TV tomorrow, it'll be Miami at Washington. TNT Thursday with a doubleheader. San Antonio at Orlando, and then Miami at Phoenix. ESPN at Christmas Day with 3 games, beginning with the Bulls and Knicks at noon, then Denver, Oklahoma City, Portland, and Golden State in the evening, and ABC with a big-time doubleheader on Christmas Day. Boston at Orlando, and then Miami at the Lakers. The Heat winning again tonight. They continue their winning streak. Boston continues to win.
Very quietly, San Antonio continues to win.
Yes, you're right. Well, what a finish last night. Manu Ginobili with a big shot and took a charge in the closing seconds in a comeback win at Denver.
I like the way Chandler attempted there. He was going up strong with 2 hands. And then as Dudley came across, he's given away a lot of size to Chandler. He goes for the block, but he catches on the arms. And Chandler defends himself by swinging that forearm out to hold him off. Now, one thing about Chandler, we know he can score 9 a game. We know he rebounds 9. We know he blocks shots right around 2. Big thing is the guy shoots close to 80% on the foul line.
And it really seems like his time with USA Basketball, playing for the World Championship team in Turkey this year, really helped him.
Well, I thought when we interviewed him in Utah, he made some great points. He said, I finally got healthy. I was over my operation. The confidence that I lost by being traded and then not being healthy, I got it all back working out with the United States team. Playing on a team like that where everyone was working so hard, and the fact that the coaching staff did a terrific job. Beautiful. And he's back here now, and the coaches, everyone talks about what a leader he is in the locker room, and he just fit in perfectly.
And very vocal on defense. It's not the loudest team on the court, but Chandler, well, that's pretty loud right there. Very vocal with his words and his play at the defensive end. And a travel called on Butler.
Yeah, that time Karan took the ball into the trap. And then all of a sudden he got caught on the baseline with no place to go. But I like Butler's game. Butler's their 3rd leading scorer on this team, behind Nowitzki and then behind Jason Terry. Because he shoots a high percentage from the floor, then he shoots right around 40% in threes, which is a big thing for a small forward.
Clark will try the same spot, miss it again, and Chandler another rebound.
Yeah, I say Chandler's not going to go all the way out on you until you prove that you're going to get hot. And right now, Clark has been short on all of his shots.
Well, Phoenix hung in and played well for about 8 minutes after the injury to Steve Nash, but Dallas has just taken charge in the second and third quarters. Somehow Barea got inside, and then he missed the reverse.
He's in there a lot. He's in there a lot against everyone. I think he was shocked that he was open so much.
Dragic rattles one home. And the third quarter will come to a close, dominated again by the Dallas Mavericks. They extend a 12-point lead at halftime to a 21-point lead at the end of 3. The Mavericks looking for their 14th win in the last 15 games, and they're well on their way. Steve Nash injured early in this game, less than 5 minutes into the game, suffered a stinger and an inadvertent elbow from Tyson Chandler, as Chandler and Nash were both going for a loose ball. And Nash got the worst of it right there. The elbow to the back of the head, some numbness and tingling in his extremities. Eventually was helped up, walked off the court under his own power, has not returned, will not return. And as Hubie mentioned and Heather mentioned, hopefully this is a short-term thing. Scary looking when it happened, but hopefully Steve Nash is all right. Meanwhile, Dallas is dominating. Earl Clark, you can see the length on him and pretty good foot speed too for a 6'10" guy, pretty agile, hanging out there with Jason Terry. Dudley steps in and misses the baseline J.
Yeah, it's just been a difficult night. They're only shooting 35% from the floor. They're 2 for 16 in threes. The reason why that's big, they're the second best team in the league in shooting threes. They usually make 8 a game.
Dudley a block. Butler got it back, had it rejected again, and stays with it. The third time is the charm.
Yeah, that's why you like his game. You know, he's 6'7", 6'8", but he's extremely physical as a small forward. He can bang for you in the paint, and he can run like a deer on the break.
Turkoglu to Warwick, who scores and draws the foul.
You're coaching now the Phoenix Suns. You lose your heart and soul. You know when that happens many times in this league, when a star guy goes down and the game is on the road and you can't do your best thing, and that is make threes. You go 2 for 16. Well, the head will go down. They'll be playing. They're playing for you, but nothing is going right for them. They just cannot seem to run that little quick 10-0, 8-0 spurt. And that's what the coaching staff is waiting for, so maybe they can get it down to 8 to 12.
Berea. Good help by Warwick. Now Hayward.
Nice.
And he gets it to go.
Yeah, that was nice. He bullied his way right down in there. But he knows right now there are no shot blockers out on the floor right now for the Phoenix Suns.
Turkoglu from the corner knocks down a long 2. Why has Hedo Turkoglu not thrived in Phoenix?
Well, right now he hasn't fit in. Look, when he played at Orlando, he averaged 19 points a game. Last year in Toronto, he averaged 11. He's only averaging 9 a game here right now. He's only playing a half the game. He's not a power forward. They're playing him at power forward, so he doesn't get a lot of minutes. And when he does get the minutes, he's not fitting in the style of play with this tempo.
And that's one of the things Alvin Gentry said to us. He's really got too many wing players. There's one of them in Dudley. We talked about Grant Hill, Hedo Turkoglu, Hakeem Warwick, really better suited to play the 3. They're missing that one big-time power forward. He said they've always had an advantage of the power forward spot. They don't have that right now.
That's correct. And the other thing is, how about Childress, who just signed here, got off to a good start, but now he's not even in the rotation.
Butler with a nifty block on Earl Clark.
Yeah, I like Butler's game. Butler's one of these kind of guys that helps you at both ends of the floor. He's a tough guy. He'll guard people. He'll get physical anytime the game gets physical, and he can do that. He can shoot the 3. He can take it to the basket. You hit him with the shot clock at 5, he'll take his man to the rim for you. He can make things happen.
Dirk Nowitzki returns to the game and out for Dallas. Dallas with his big lead without a vintage Dirk night. Limited minutes because of foul trouble, just 11 points for Nowitzki, who's averaging 25. Turkoglu, a contested 2. Dragic misses. Looking for the foul call. 5-on-4 Dallas. Wide open Berea. Nowitzki, yeah, beautiful fake. Misses the shot, though. Turkoglu slips in. Dudley from the corner. Got it.
Nice. Well, Dudley had a great year last year. Played terrific during the second half of the season and into the playoffs. Even in the LA series, they'd bring him off the bench, and he matched up with Kobe Bryant. Not only did he defend well, but he made the threes and he rebounded, and he's having a nice, solid year. They love his talent because he plays with his heart.
Jason Terry again, 18 for Terry, his first points of the second half.
Well, Jason Terry's blessed. He's got the complete game. He's quick off the dribble, and he loves pressure.
Turkoglu misses the three. Well, this is a tough way to start a tough road trip if you're Phoenix, going to Oklahoma City and San Antonio after this.
Well, you know, when you coach in this league, as long as Gentry's been in the league, you know it's only one game. And it's only one loss if you lose the game. You got to shake this over, get on the plane, get to the next city, get your next game plan, and let's get after it.
Timeout on the floor with 7:41 to go here in the fourth quarter. The Dallas Mavericks are in control. All night long for Phoenix, down 17 to Dallas. Alvin Gentry, though, still sending a message to his team.
I understand that we're not making shots. I can live with that. We're not making shots. But we got a guard on this end, and we're not giving it 100%. So let's dig in now.
You have to love what he's doing, because right now he's not giving up. And what we would try to do in a situation like this is say, okay, now in the next 3 minutes and 40 seconds, get it down, try to get it from 7 to 10. Then when the last 4 minutes, the game will be up for grabs. But we all got to play every possession, and I like what he had to say. Get in their face defensively, and let's make it happen. We cannot continue to shoot 3 for 18. We're one of the best shooting three-point teams in the league. We haven't had it, but don't give up. And all coaches who come with winning records and have winning teams, they never give up on a game until it gets down into 2 minutes and you're down 17.
Turkoglu makes them both to make it a 15-point game. Dallas is led by as many as 24 in this game.
Now, the other night, Portland really poured it on in that fourth quarter. They weren't down to this many, but they came right back in the game and got the game right down and tied the game.
And Dallas actually gave up the lead to Milwaukee.
You got to get a score. Oh, bad pass. I don't know why he didn't take it all the way in himself. I don't understand why he did that.
Terry might have gotten away with one there. On Monday, when they lost their 12-game winning streak, when that was snapped, Hubie, Milwaukee had a 14-0 run late in the game against Dallas. Yes. Came back and won.
Well, we saw that with Portland the other night. Now, keep an eye on this right now. You're going to see he loses it because he tried to push the ball out. But once again, see Terry, Marion, Berea, when these guys are running in transition, they're running for the steal on those passes to the corner people.
Well, Berea keeping that dribble alive, finding the open man in Marion. The extra pass from Terry to Nowitzki.
That's a dagger in the heart. Anytime that you use most of the 24-second clock and you're really hustling and everyone's covering and rotating, then you get a guy like Nowitzki who knocks down the long three.
Clark doesn't get the bounce. Well, Dirk Nowitzki still going strong, as we mentioned right off the top of the show. Squarely in the MVP discussion, and granted, we're not even a third of the way through the season, but boy, is he shooting the ball well this year.
See, once again, the second unit, Marion doesn't force the shot. Terry doesn't force the shot. Get it to the guy who's wide open.
Look at the consistency, Hubie.
Oh, yeah. Well, for him, 25 points is like automatic. Plus, he gets you 8 to 9 rebounds. And then the key, look at the shooting percentages out in that right column. That's where he kills you. Then he adds to that by shooting 40% in threes. And then a year ago, 90% on the foul line, over 90. This year, 88. He's just a complete. I've been around since '73. We've never had a guy 7'1" with this kind of shooting touch. And then he's second in the league in scoring points in the fourth quarter.
And one thing we were talking about earlier today, doesn't miss games.
Oh, no.
I mean, just as consistent plays 76 to 82 games every single season of his career. Clark And Haywood called for the foul.
Now I want to talk over something else about Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki never makes an excuse. If he misses a shot, he misses a key foul shot down there. He got beat defensively. He's the first one to own up. And I just love how he is. He's very humble about who he is and the fact that he can do it time in and time out. In this league, very few people have put together 5 years of 25 points. Very few guys have done that. This guy has done that. And you just love the fact that with him since he's been here, 10 straight years of over 50 wins, 10 straight years of being in the playoffs. And I like what you said, attendance. That's what I love
That's
about
right. He shows up to class.
Michael Jordan, Karl Malone. Attendance.
Yes.
Attendance.
Marion. And a good battle won by Fry for the rebound.
Fry's had a nice game tonight. You know, on the defensive end, rebounding the ball.
Turkoglu rattles home a three.
You still have life here now. Yeah, you still have life, but it has to be defensively. I like the wire that we ran because if you can get these guys to shoot and miss and get out in the open floor and hit a couple of threes, you're back in business.
Earl Clark working hard against Nowitzki, and finally the foul.
At 7'1", his head fakes and ball fakes are just terrific. But if you watch him before the game, out here, he works on all these moves.
The Dirk Nation in the early going this season. Earl Clark with the back-to-back baskets for the Suns in a bid to get more playing time. Getting some rest for Jason Kidd. He hasn't played extended minutes tonight. He's got Barea and Terry out there in the backcourt right now. Barea right into the teeth of the defense.
They needed a stop there. They needed a block. They needed a foul, an offensive foul.
Capital One Bowl Week gets underway on ESPN tomorrow with 3 games. First at 2 Eastern, BYU faces UTEP in the New Mexico Bowl. At 5:30 Eastern, Northern Illinois takes on Fresno State in the U-Drove Humanitarian Bowl. And at 9 Eastern, Ohio meets Troy in the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. You got to admire the determination of Barea. Doesn't mind getting in there with the big guys. Turkoglu with another 3.
See, Barea's on the right team because they're not afraid to play he and Terry together. A lot of coaches wouldn't do that. They do it and they play zone. And then Barea and Terry in the open floor with Marion. Come on, they're murder, and we've seen it here tonight. And you just like the fact that now tonight he's not having a great night. He's not getting opportunities to get you break the defense down and get into the painted area. Then when you want to play 3 guys, you bring in Jason Kidd, play Jason Kidd at small forward, and still play 2-3 zone. And then they continue to put the pressure on you.
Channing Frye just fouled out.
By the way, he's had a nice game defensively. He's had 13 rebounds, or 14 rebounds in this game. Now, I know he didn't have a great shooting night, but he still continued to bang.
Sitting alongside Josh Childress, who hasn't gotten into the game yet tonight. Haywood misses them both. In close games, Haywood, and he is the backup to Chandler, but there have been times where he hasn't been able to stay on the floor because he can't make his free throws. Shooting under 30% on the season from the line as Dragic turns it over.
Well, I like what Rick Carlisle said, though, in the papers. He claims that Haywood will come in, he'll work hard, he gets here early, he works on his foul shooting because he's a 61% career shooter. That will come. But now, one thing is, he's very upset about his minutes, and there's no doubt about that. So what he has done, he's tuned out the media, and he's not making himself available to talk to them. But if you're going to replace Chandler, then you have to start matching his numbers when the 2 of you split the game in minutes played.
And we're seeing a hack of Haywood right here as the Suns deliberately foul him away from the ball again. He misses another free throw.
See, when Chandler came here, they got the perfect package because this guy doesn't take time off. he's out here challenging. Now, he's matured an awful lot from that young guy who was playing for the Chicago Bulls. All right, he's learned a lot through the years. And then being associated with USA team on 2 occasions, that's also helped his development and his maturity.
Warwick with a nice bank shot. And Phoenix actually cutting into this deficit. What was once 24 is now down to 12. 3:16 to go and another foul.
Remember we said with 7:40 to go, and they didn't have a great 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and it's 12 already.
And watch after the basket. Immediately, there's the foul. Hakeem Warwick gives the foul. Haywood will go back to the line. Rick Carlisle is trying to get him out of the game. Jan Mahinmi is waiting to check in. Haywood is now 1 for 7 from the free throw line tonight.
Now, the young man that's coming into the game got major minutes the other night in order to play Aldridge under the pressure. Once we got down there, they needed someone to cover him. And when he's had his opportunities to play, he's made a major contribution here. So he's starting to cut into that center position minutes, depending upon who he has to play defensively.
Third-year player from France. Timeout on the floor. 3:14 to go. Dallas 97, Phoenix 84. A little bit for the big guy, Brendan Haywood. A 62% career free throw shooter coming into the year. That's not great. But under 30% this year, and he finally made one. Just his second free throw in 8 attempts tonight, and you can see the frustration in his body.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of pressure on him, mainly because he came, he re-signed, and he signed, you know, an extension at quite a bit of money. So you have the pressure every time you walk out of this building. You get heat in the building, and then you get heat out on the street about you're not backing up. We paid you all of this money, fans. We paid you all this money, so we want to see better results. Well, fortunately for them, they have Chandler, this young man. Now he's been in the league a long time. He's got to work himself out. You're talking about a guy, this is his 10th year in the league. And he's a very intelligent guy. This guy's a very, very smart man. I just expect him now to accept the challenge. Let's see, because this is going to be a great team. You have a chance to move in the Western playoffs this year because of your defense, and they're going to need you defensively every night.
And the move to Mahinmi pays immediate dividends as he knocks down both free throws. Clark answers with another jumper at the other end.
Well, Clark has not been bashful since he's come in the game. He's 3 for 10, and you like the fact that he's looking for a shot. He's got a live body, but for him, he's got to say to himself, look, every time they throw me out here, I got to put my heart and soul out here, because the crash minutes at the forward position, we've been talking about it all night, they have 7 guys, proven guys here. How are you going to move them out?
Mahinmi looking very good at the line as he knocks down his third in as many attempts. So the strategy of intentionally fouling him is not paying off. 4 for 4 on the night, 17 for 20 on the season.
Yeah, but they're trying everything to get a miss, and that's what I like. They're trying to win the game. They're trying to catch him to give themselves a chance to win.
Clark again.
That's too bad.
He's now taken 12 shots in 14 minutes on the floor.
But see, I'm sorry that he tried a finger roll there. You know, it'd be better if he stopped and shot a jump hook, or even stopped and turned and took a little baby jumper.
Marion again. Dirk took a bump, and he looks a little bit shaken up as he makes his way back down on D. Dragic, nice look. And Dudley will shoot 2.
Well, that once again, because you have the young man in there who blocks shots, he intimidated Dudley from finishing that drop. Now, right here, you're going to see Dirk shoot this fadeaway. And now you get the rebound and you kick out. You can see Dirk right here. You know, you don't know whether you never want to guess on an injury. That's for sure.
So Nowitzki goes out, and a guy I know you're very fond of, Brian Cardinal, 11th-year player out of Purdue, checks into the game for the Mavericks.
Well, Brian had a great career when he was playing for the Golden State Warriors. When I was in Memphis, we brought him to Memphis, and unfortunately, his very first year, he had a very severe knee injury, major surgery, and then he had complications. But this is a good pickup for them. They like him because when Butler was out, he played a half a game, and he made a good contribution. He's a great team player, a cerebral player.
It rattles out on Terry. Into the final 2 minutes here in Dallas in a game that the Mavericks have controlled since early in the second quarter. Warwick.
Nice.
And he will convert.
Oh, that was a beautiful pump fake. A beautiful lob pass and then a great catch over a smaller defender.
Warwick with 15 points and 13 rebounds in this game. Mahimi, nicely done.
Well, unfortunately for them, Turkoglu never rotated in the back, because if he would have rotated, he would have intercepted the pass.
Dragic, she's got some nifty moves.
Oh, he does. Well, he's very feisty. He's a feisty kid. He plays on his national team at home, and you can see that from his rookie year, he's really improved this game tremendously.
Dallas 70 seconds away from winning its 14th game in its last 15. What a run the Mavericks are on right now. Watch your favorite team at home, on the road, anywhere with NBA League Pass. NBA League Pass lets you watch great NBA matchups on your TV, computer, and mobile phone. Call your local cable, satellite, or telco provider today, or log on to NBA.com/League Pass. Going to be some interesting games coming up in the next week for the Dallas Mavericks. As we mentioned, Hubie, at Miami Monday, at Orlando Tuesday. As you noted earlier, the Mavericks are 8-1 on the road so far this year.
Well, you know, they've beaten Oklahoma City, they've beaten San Antonio, they have some, and beat Utah, all on the road, and that's hard to do.
Mahimi, Steve Novak into the game. Novak, fifth-year player out of Marquette, and you just saw the skill that got him into the NBA. He can shoot it. Turkoglu. Now the Mavericks are going to go to 21-5 of the season. The Suns will drop below 500 to 12-13, with their next 3 games being at Oklahoma City, at San Antonio, and at home to Miami. The status of Steve Nash unknown after leaving the game earlier tonight with a stinger, hopefully not too serious, and he will be back in action in a couple of days. Not this time for Novak. Dragic all the way, can't finish the layup, and that'll do it. The Mavericks in front of another sellout crowd here at American Airlines Center defeat Phoenix 106-91. And go to 21-5 on the season. SportsCenter is coming up next here on ESPN. Don't forget, NBA coverage continues Christmas Day with 5 games, including Boston, Orlando, and Miami, and the Lakers on ABC. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Hubie Brown, Heather Cox, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Dan Schulman saying thanks for watching, and so long from Dallas.